Hey guys, Alexander here, walking in a forest. I don't have anything specific to share with you. I just wanted to treat this video as a sort of a journal entry into what's going on with me. Joined by my dog, Josephine. Say hi, Josie. Walking through the woods near my parents' house in Surrey, in the UK. We've got cases of coronavirus moving up fast. We're on lockdown pretty much. We're allowed to go out of the house once a day officially for exercise or to go to the grocery shop or to get pharmaceuticals. And those of us who are at home are having to make the most of our situation. I've moved back to my parents' home from London. I was living in central London until a few weeks ago, and I made the decision because, my rent was about to run out in any case, but I made the decision to drive over there with my dad the other day and do a quick run through of all my kit and all my stuff and put it in the car. Luckily, I don't travel too heavy. I travel pretty light. Took everything back home, and here I am, enjoying a change of scene, doing what I can with the current circumstances. Obviously, business is going to be a bit more challenging, but in that we can all see an opportunity. You know, what are the opportunities? Yes, businesses are closing, people's incomes are dropping, people are becoming less inclined, obviously, to want to spend, to add another thing to their expenses list, to hire people like me, coaches. That's debatable, of course, because there's a lot of people out there who are in need of some mentorship, some support, people who need a helping hand with their thinking, their psychology, their fears, their anxieties. So there is I wouldn't say opportunity because that sounds opportunistic, but there are means and ways that we can all make the most of this situation. I know it's not easy, but there's always a gift, in every situation that comes along. We've got to see it for what it is, and it's neither good nor bad. Yes, people are dying, yes, people are suffering, but in and of itself, what is happening around us is a situation. It's just a neutral event, and humans have this tendency, have this way of interpreting things to mean a certain thing, and in truth, there is no meaning. We apply meaning to everything. Of course, trust me for making this conversation, which was supposed to be a chilled journal entry, into something deep and philosophical, but that's the way I roll. Look at these sheep. There's some beautiful animals here. There's a little lamb in there as well, a little black lamb somewhere. Yeah, there we go. You see it? Little black sheep. Black sheep of the family. That's cute. Hey, sheep. Gosh, I didn't know there were so many here. This is quite new for me. There's never any sheep around here. There's one thing I've noticed as well is there seems to be a real tangible, and this might just be me kind of in my interpretation of it, but there seems to be a real tangible sense that nature is kind of rebounding. Nature is coming out of its hiding hole, especially wildlife. Like, for example, I just saw a massive great adult white swan flying over the village here, flying over our little town, which is never something you see. To see big fowl, big bird life flying around at such close quarters to the road. Obviously the streets are a lot quieter these days, and that's giving our wildlife, our nature, our environment some opportunity for themselves to rebound, to get back to a certain degree of thriving. So there are so many little positives wrapped up in all this, and it's just something that I'm noticing. And just being here, so grateful to be alive. So grateful to have nature around me, so grateful to be able to leave the house and breathe in that fresh air, which has now become so much less polluted thanks to reduced air travel. Hear those sheep as they sing in chorus of this. They sing in agreement of this joy. Yeah, it is. It can be nerve-wracking with the sense of virus kind of impending and encroaching. And it is what it is, you've got to do the best you can. And there was an interesting and very, very encouraging quote I came across the other day, which made me feel a lot better, which was something along the lines of, and I'm terrible, if you know me, I'm not very good at remembering quotes word for word, but the fear of death can last a lifetime, right? This is one of our biggest fears as humans, the fear of death. Ultimately, every anxiety, every variation of our suffering is rooted to dying. We're kind of ultimately just scared of dying, and that's what creates a lot of our suffering. But death in itself happens in a second. Think of that. The act of dying happens in a split second, whereas our worrying about dying happens potentially continually. Look what's going on here. We've got a dog who's got herself a little branch, and that's what makes her happy, and that's what always inspires me. The simple things can make this dog extremely happy. Dying happens in a split second. It's over like that, and we can create so much suffering by thinking about it, by worrying about things that aren't happening right now, they're happening in the future, and that's just dumb. It's just a waste of our time, and it'll inevitably load on additional stress, additional emotional discomfort. Doing a lot of learning at the moment, a lot of reading, a lot of personal transformation in the sense that I'm seeing things in so many different ways by learning about things that are shifting my perspective on life and how to view the world, and different perspectives and consciousness and spirituality. Definitely discovering a new realm in the form of spirituality, unlike I haven't ever dared to cross into before, because I thought it was kind of beneath me or something that would never be of interest to me. But it's funny, when I read over my articles and the things that I tend to get passionate about, there's always an element of spirituality in them. There's always an element of the unseen, the things we can't perceive, and the power that holds. I'm a bit aware of my phone battery about to die here, and I'd love to have this conversation in more depth, and please tune in to follow some of those conversations. But to wrap things up, I guess we could call this video along the lines of the power in the things we can't perceive directly. There is power in those things. For example, the power of thought to create, the power of thought to create worry, the power of thought to create a magnificent experience. Thought is just energy, isn't it? Thought is not something you could see, it's not something that you can perceive, but it has a tremendous role in our reality. You know, if we're worried, if we're anxious about what's happening around us in the world, we're not anxious about what's actually happening. We're anxious because of our resistance, and our thoughts are creating that resistance. We are resisting our thinking, and that's what creates that stress. So be aware of that. That's really been helpful for me, is like knowing coronavirus is neutral, coronavirus are happening, coronavirus is the world resetting environmentally, culturally, psychologically. It's a reset. And you could view that as good, you could view that as bad, or you could just let it be. And understand the power of those things that we can't see, can't feel, can't touch, but they're operating, they're running, and they are creating your whole reality. I'll be exploring all this stuff in more depth. I have a lot more to say on this, so please do subscribe, do like, share as people do. Share it with your mates. I don't think I've ever shared I have actually, to be honest. I've shared many videos. Now you can share this with someone that you think that might find it useful. I know that this has been more of a ramble, more of a journal entry, and that's cool, but I'll be doing more of these. And tell me if you like this kind of thing, this kind of content, because I find that if I spend too much time thinking about it, then it comes out all stunted, and I'm trying to think too much. And I like doing things this way because ideas and insights come up more effortlessly, and I find that those ideas are a lot more powerful, a lot more effective. Hope that makes sense. Much love, guys. See you later from Josie. Say hi, Josie. Josie. Hey. See you guys.